How long have you been there? Boys, gents, lads, welcome back to another video. Today, we've got a banger one for you, okay? Banger, I hardly know her. Anyways, today we've got a very, very good one. I'm going to be giving you guys, as a pro player myself, the definitive Marvel Rivals character tier list. Specifically, I'm going to be giving you a tier list based on performance. What characters should you be playing to reach the top 500, be the one above all? Let's get right into it. As you can see, we've got all 33, I believe, characters from Marvel Rivals sitting in this tier list. We're going to have S, A, B, C, and D. We're going to be going through them by alphabetical order. We're not going to be doing Duelist and Vanguard, then whatever. We are going to be doing alphabetical order, and again, this is the definitive tier list of characters you will want to be playing when you hop into comp. So starting off, we've got Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is all right. You know what I mean? I mean, of all the healers in the game, he's all right. His abilities are pretty good. He's fun to play. He's a cool character, but he's not much more than all right, so I am going to have to put him in C tier. Next up, we got Black Panther. Now, a good Black Panther can change the game. This is one of those characters that if you don't know what you're doing on him, can be a little difficult to play with or play as. But if a person gets a Black Panther and he is really good, he is one of the better duelists in the game, so probably going to put him in B. Now, here's where things get interesting. One of the new characters added to the game on launch, Black Widow. Now, Black Widow's interesting because she's basically just Widowmaker, okay? She's literally just has a sniper. She's sits in the back. She dinks, you know what I mean? She taps heads. With that being said, absolute game changer. I'm gonna have to put Black Widow at S tier. She is an absolute game changer. If you have a good Black Widow dinking those heads, huge game changer. S tier for sure. Next up, we have Hulk. Now, Hulk is interesting because Hulk is an OG character. He did get a bit of a rework when the game fully released, but you know, he's not the best. He's kind of boring. He doesn't have a crazy kit. And like, even if you have a good Hulk player, they never end up doing well. I'm gonna have to put Hulk in D. He's just not that guy, especially in tanks. With that being said, Captain America is in fact that guy. If I have to put one tank in S tier, it's probably gonna be Captain America. Okay, this dude is cracked. Every Captain America player I see is insane. I've never seen a Captain America player who just runs around, does nothing. Every Captain America player I run into, at least 40 kills. They're usually carrying. You would think a DPS might carry. No, the tank is carrying. I've seen multiple deflected ults. Definitely the best tank in the game. Next up is going to be Cloak and Dagger. Now, Cloak and Dagger is interesting because you kind of get Cloak and Dagger. You get kind of a dual kit. They have some cool abilities, but healing wise, I mean, you know, it's just not the best. A lot of people just sit on Cloak the whole time and try to do damage. They don't really heal. They have bad aim, so they can't hit me. Overall, just one of the less good healers, so I am going to have to put them, you know, they might be able to go B tier. We'll put them in B tier for now. We'll look to the future. Now, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is an interesting one because he is another tank that should be so good. Like, his kit is great, his shield is good, he does really good damage, his ult is really good. But again, like, he, you know, even with that better kit and the ability to do stuff, he's just not amazing. So unfortunately, I am gonna have to put Doctor Strange in C tier. Moving on, we've got Groot. Now, Groot is one of the better tanks in the game, so I am gonna put him in B tier. Interesting that no one's in A tier yet. We'll get there. I am gonna put Groot in B tier. His kit is good, his walls are good. Groot players are usually pretty high skill level. You know, the wall placement has to be elite. You can't just throw them down, all that sort of stuff. So overall, kind of a difficult character, harder character to play, but also a more fun character to play, and a really, really good tank. So I'm going to put him at B. Hawkeye. Now, Hawkeye is kind of ass. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy that you have a character that needs precision aiming, which I think it's cool because it kind of goes with the IP. It goes with the character of Hawkeye. You have to have precision aiming because you're not going to be dealing a lot of damage. You have to be hitting heads. If you do hit a head, that's a one shot and that's great, but like, that's rare. And so it's kind of cool to have it like intertwined with that character. But overall, not the best considering, you know, he's not the best. Like, you're never going to see a Hawkeye carry. They're not, you know, out here getting a bunch of kills or killing a bunch of people, making it easy on your team. So unfortunately, duelist wise, he is going to have to go in D. Next up is going to be Hela. Hela also kind of barely just passes, bro. Like I said, you kind of do have to have good aim. She is hit scan, but you still have to have good aim. You can't just sit in the back. Like, you need to be finding angles and you know, picking who you shoot, and dealing as much damage as possible. So again, one of the more bad duelists, so I'm gonna have to, she passes though, I'm gonna have to put her in C. Next up is Iron Fist. Iron Fist might also be, you know, Iron Fist is probably our first in A tier. Iron Fist is cracked, bro. You go in with those fists of iron, I'm telling you, bro, it's insane. You go in, you dive, like, even if you're not in the position to get healed, if you're diving their backline as Iron Fist, you're gonna be the ace in the lobby. You're gonna be the MVP by far, because he just does so much damage. The kit is really nice, being able to deflect, punch as fast as you can. The ult is really fun, so definitely one of the more fun characters. Not as difficult, I would say, but one of the more fun characters, and he's gonna do a lot of damage. Definitely need an Iron Fist on your team. Moving on to Iron Man. I mean, Iron Man's D tier, man. Like, he is not great, especially like from what I've heard in those higher lobbies. He just gets one tapped. He's not great, bro. You just fly around and shoot down. Like, any skilled player can take down an Iron Man. It's kind of hard to position as Iron Man. The ult, I mean, all you have to do is dodge it. Like, overall, just not the best character in the game, especially for duelists. Next up is going to be Jeff the Land Shark. You want to talk about healers, okay? You want to talk about healers? He might be S tier, low key. I think Jeff might be S tier. Jeff might be the best healer in the game. He's adorable. He's cute. Everyone loves Jeff. He can sing Jingle Bells. He can sing the Marvel Rivals song. Just an overall elite strategist. Love to see it. Gotta put him in S tier. Next up is gonna be Loki. Now, Loki might be C tier. I think he, you know, as Guardian level. I think he passes. But as far as kit goes, there's not much there. He just doesn't do much, and he's kind of just boring to play. You know what I mean? You know, you don't really get anything out of playing Loki. You don't really heal. You miss your shots, you're not doing damage either. His ult is you know what I mean? So gonna have to put him in C. He passes, but he's not the best. Now, Luna Snow, I think I also put in C. And while we're at it, we'll just do another strategist. Mantis is gonna be D. These guys are, I mean, have you ever ran into a good healer who plays one of those two? No, you know what I'm saying? So overall, just not the best healers in the game. Their ults are okay, but I mean, do you really want to have to wait for your ult to charge just to be good? No, you want to be healing, you want to be good, you want to be providing buffs. And overall, the kit they have is kind of just a little complicated, a little too complicated, I would say, and it doesn't fit the game style very well, and it doesn't create for any type of good team comp, to the point where they're just not viable in any sense. Even in quick match, they're not viable as healers. So Luna Snow C, Mantis definitely D. Next up is going to be Magic. Magic is one of the better duelists in the game, so I am going to have to put her in the B spot. I feel like there's not much more to say. A good Magic is similar to a good Black Panther. Put him in that B spot. They're going to do some damage. Next up is going to be Magneto. Now, Magneto, probably going to be an A tier, bro. He's super fun, very fast-paced gameplay, especially for a tank standard. Super fast-paced gameplay. He's just fun. His shield is great, possibly better than Doctor Strange's, which is why I do have him above Doctor Strange. Does a lot of damage. His team up with Magic is really fun, so definitely A tier tank. Next up is going to be Moon Knight. Now, Moon Knight I might put in C tier. I think he passes. He can have potential to do a lot of damage, but he is one of the harder characters in the game, especially when people are destroying your onks and stuff like that. His ult is kind of it's hard to figure out where to place. But overall, he still passes. You know, he's similar to Hela. He's still going to do a lot of damage, but kind of difficult to learn and apply in comp, so I'm going to put him in C. Next up is going to be Namor. Now, Namor, similar to Black Panther and Magic, you know, I'm going to put him in that B spot. A little difficult to learn, but once you get a good one, game changes. There's kind of that meme going around where it's like, you don't see Namor all game, and then by the end, he's the MVP with 45 kills and 3 deaths. Exactly. Okay, so he's going to go in B tier. Next up is Penny Parker. I think I'm also going to put Penny Parker in B tier. She's really fun. I think she's probably my most played tank. She's really fun. She doesn't really require a lot of skill, which is why I like her. So we're going to put her in B tier. Next up is going to be Psylocke. Now, I've seen a lot of people put Psylocke in S tier, which I don't understand. I understand that she's a character that you would use to flank. She does a lot of damage, but overall, she's not great. Her ult isn't great. You're not getting a lot of kills off that. If you're squishy, like if your movement is bad, you're gonna get killed. Like, yeah, she can do a lot of damage, but only if she's alive. You know what I'm saying? The burst fire just isn't great. And then, you know, realistically, it doesn't do a lot of damage, especially from range. So unfortunately, she's kind of like Hawkeye and Iron Man in that sense. Like, she's kind of just a one-trick pony. Gonna have to put her in D. Punisher, though, Punisher is gonna be A tier. This dude is fun, bro. You whip out, you have a shotgun, you have a turret, you have a, all you have to do is spray, and it is such good gameplay. It's so fun. All you have to do is spray. As long as your aim is good, you're good. You're gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying? So definitely one of the better duelists in the game. Gonna have to put him in A tier because, I mean, he's him. You know what I'm saying? Next up is going to be Rocket Raccoon. I think Rocket would go in, like... Honestly, I'm going to put Rocket in D tier. I'm going to say it, man. For this guy to be a healer is kind of a joke. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why people even play Rocket other than the Punisher team up. You know what I mean? Unless you're pocketing a Punisher and giving him that team up, he's kind of pointless, bro. His movement is not great. He's small, he's tiny, sure. But his movement's not great. His kit's not great. The respawn thing, okay, you get one use, then what? It's stupid. And his healing, the bubbles, like, no. There's a chance you might heal your teammate. No, dude. Like, one of the worst healers in the game has to be in D tier. Next up, though, Scarlet Witch, one of the best duelists in the game. She is by far one of the best. You don't have to aim. That's OP. Like, she's so good. The range on the Sucky Suck is great. Her freeze bubbles, you can ult with the Doctor Strange ult, or excuse me, the Doctor Strange portal. Really good character. Always is gonna be end up doing, you know, numbers, damage, kills, KOs, MVP, because you're always end up on a kill. You hold left click, you're gonna end up getting a kill. So definitely one of the best characters and duelists in the game. Spider-Man, unfortunately, I'm really not that big a fan of Spider-Man, both in real life and in the game. He's just not the best. He's just kind of meh, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's hard. You know what I mean? He's a 5-star for what? You're getting one-tapped by other characters just to push in their backline? Like, no, he's not that great. Even people who are good at him, they only play him for ego. You know what I'm saying? They play him to go, oh, I play Spider-Man. Or they're fans. They're like, oh, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's cool. And so it's kind of like, who cares, dude? You can play any other good duelist. Why are you playing Spider-Man? So put him in D tier. Next up is going to be Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl's at least A tier. I mean, her kit is a little difficult to learn, but once you have the hang of it, she's a really good character. She does a lot of damage. You do have to have kind of good aim, but she does do a lot of damage once you figure it out. And overall, she's just a really good character. Next up is going to be Star-Lord. I'm also going to put Star-Lord in A. He's one of the better characters. He does a lot of damage, fast fire rate. The ult is, it takes skill to decide when to use the ult. So the ult is one of the better in the game, so he's gonna have to go A tier. Next up is gonna be Storm. Storm's gonna be B tier. You know, she's similar to the Magic, the Namor, the Black Panther. Once you figure her out, she can be good, but overall she's kind of meh, so gonna put her in B tier. Moving into our last four, we have Thor. You know, I'm gonna put Thor in C tier as well. I don't know, he might be pretty good. Thor I'm gonna put in A tier. He's one of the better tanks, I would say. He's no Captain America by far, but I would say he's on par with Magneto. He's one of the better tanks. You get a good Thor, you're set. You're set. Next up is going to be Venom. Venom by far is another S tier. One of the more difficult ones to play. You got to learn about his ult. You got to learn when to use his E. But overall, kind of a more difficult character to play. Especially because a lot of time when you play him, like, you need to be diving. You need to be diving that backline, but your healers won't heal. And so it's kind of hard to learn, like, how to ask people, hey, like, I'm Venom, I'm going to be diving. Like, you need to be healing me so I can push forward and do damage. But other than that, you know, fairly easy to learn, pretty fun character, so definitely S tier. Next up is going to be Winter Soldier. Honestly, I put him in D tier as well. I know there's a lot of duelists in D tier, but that's because there's a lot of duelists in the game, and we really don't need that many. And a lot of them just are useless. Winter Soldier being one of those. His abilities are all right. You have to have precise aim to like pull people back, even with your arm. You're maybe lucky if you get to pull a tank back. His kit can be a little difficult to learn, but I mean, once you get the hang of it, you know, it's pretty good. He doesn't do a ton of damage, and even his ult, like, it's cool that you can recharge it, but you have to give up an arm and a leg. Like, it is extremely difficult to recharge his ult and be able to use it again. So unfortunately, he's gonna have to be D tier. And last but certainly not least is going to be our boy Wolverine. I would say Wolverine is another D tier. Honestly, he's not great. everybody's, oh, he's a tank shredder, he's a tank shredder. Okay, he's a duelist. A tank should be fighting a tank, and a duelist should be fighting a duelist. You know what I'm saying? His abilities are hard to aim. He's tough to use. He's hard to learn. Overall, just one of the worst duelists in the game. So there you have it. That is my tier list going into 2025 for the characters in Marvel Rivals. Specifically, a tier list based on difficulty, accessibility, playstyle, all those things taken into account. A tier list on how difficult they are to play and how fun they are to play, and just who is the best to play in the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you think this is a good list or a bad list. Personally, I think it's, like I said, I think it's the definitive list. I have, like, you know, triple-digit hours on Marvel Rivals at this point, so I think it's a great list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to follow the Twitter, join the Discord, link is in bio, follow the Twitch. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. You just got debated. You just got, don't lie. You thought it was real. You thought, no, don't lie.